So my paper was about political bias in the media regarding gun control. I chose gun control because I feel like there's a very separate divide in both stances that you can take. You're either really far left or far right. I feel like there's not really an in between. So I chose that one just because it's really meaningful to me, and I think it needs to be talked about a lot more. So that's why I chose that one. So my two articles, one was from CNN, and then the other was from thefederalist.com. So two obviously very different spectrums. I think it's very apparent which biases I chose. I chose liberal bias and conservative bias. I feel like those are the two very powerful stances in this topic that really clash. So article one is the article from CNN. This is the more liberal biased Democratic essay that I chose, not essay, but like source that I chose. This source, the article, is written by Paul LeBlanc, and it was written November 24th, 2022, and basically highlights another mass shooting that took place in America, in Chesapeake, Virginia, and how we again let this happen without taking any action about gun control, and how it just keeps happening, and and then the writer brings up a very specific point that I feel like it was very intentional in order to seem like it wasn't biased, but it just made it look more biased, about how this was the exact quote I'm looking at. I'm sorry. It says, many Americans hold their right to bear arms enshrined in the U.S. Constitution. I think enshrined is a very specific term, and it really shows how powerful this writer feels about their stance on this topic. So it says, enshrined in the U.S. Constitution as sacrosanct, but others say that their right threatens another, the right to life. I think that's a very powerful sentence. I feel like it really shows and demonstrates how this writer feels about their position on this topic, and I think that it really solidifies that this topic is meant to be seen one way and one way only, and it's really just cramming the fact that we need more gun control. We need to stand up against the Republicans or the conservatives in the government and fight for better gun control laws. And it's really on the spectrum of democratic, liberal, and saying that we need to fight in order to change our gun control laws. So article 2 was from the Federalist, obviously, which shows just from the website title, you can tell is the more conservative or Republican approach. I think I mentioned this in my essay. The title really stands out, as it's really like a punch, saying, get ready for another cynical, useless gun control push by Democrats. It's literally stating out there, this is my stance, and the Democrats are wrong, pretty much is what I feel. This is pretty much going straight to the point, saying, this is my stance, this is the right stance. Democrats are taking the wrong stance, and you need to listen to me and my stance, and I'm in the right here. I feel like that is a very powerful way to start out an article, and saying basically that get ready for another dumb Democratic idea. That's pretty much what I was saying. So this article is mainly talking about how the main point that they brought up was a event that took place in California, where there was a mass shooting, and it was basically saying oh, well, even though California has these really strict, grade A is what they refer to as gun control laws, there are still mass shootings. So obviously it's not the gun control laws that are the issue, it's the people. I feel like that's what they're trying to get at, is like, we don't need to revise our gun control like laws. We don't need to revise the right to bear arms. We don't need to revise the Constitution. We need to get into every Democrat's minds and saying like, we don't need anti-gun. We need, like, you know, like the normal arguments that they make, like they're not anti-gun, they're not, we need more gun control. No, they're basically just like, what they said in here was Governor Gavin Newsom, flanked by the armed guards, told CBS News that it was a long past time to institute more gun control laws because the Second Amendment is becoming a suicide pact. So I feel like that really just proves that that Democrats stand on one side and Republicans stand on the complete opposite, and that they just kind of butt heads until eventually one of them is going to overcome. And I feel like that's pretty much what I wrote about, and that we need to really observe the bias in our media and observe how this is going to affect us in the future and affect future generations into what we believe and what future voters are going to believe, and future leaders, future government officials, like how they're going to take what is said in the media versus what's the actual truth. And I feel like we need to be more cautious about that, and how we need to be able to look at a resource and like mentally like identify, being like, okay, this is a bias source towards this direction, this is a bias source towards this direction, or this is a like neutral source that will present both sides to me. So yeah, it's basically what my article was about. I know this kind of went over time, and I'm sorry about that. Yeah, that's pretty much what my paper is about, and pretty much what biases I did and what topic I chose. Thank you.